Here's your First Warn Weather Forecast First, sponsored by Anderson Collision Center. Visit driveanderson.com.
Plenty of sunshine and blue skies again here for the afternoon, allowing temperatures to warm into the low 70s. For many of us, a couple degrees warmer even in some spots than where we were yesterday. And even better news, we are not dealing with any of the scattered rain and storms that we had over the last few days either. Skies are actually fairly clear, not only locally, but across a pretty broad region as well. And that will help to keep our skies clear over the next few days as high pressure moves in. Also going to keep us free of precipitation for a few more days. We are going to be experiencing warmer temperatures beyond that as well. However, overnight tonight, we do have to deal with a bit of a chilly night as high pressure drops us back into the low 40s for some of us, mid 40s for the remainder of the state line. But we are warmer as we head into tomorrow afternoon. I'll let you know how long the warmth and sunshine is going to stick around, coming up in your most trusted forecast a little later.
A wounded teen is sent to the hospital. The ongoing shooting investigation by Rockford police.
Plus, the state budget passes through the Illinois House. What programs are benefiting from the jump in spending?
And a Rockford native returns to the Forest City, the leadership role he's taking on at Hard Rock Casino.
Live from WTVO 17, this is Eyewitness News at 5.
Good evening, I'm Mimi Murphy.
And I'm David Greenberg. A Rockford teen is rushed to the hospital.
Police say he was shot late last night. Around 11, Rockford police were called to City View Drive. That's north of West Riverside in Rockton. There, officers found a 16-year-old boy shot. He was taken to the hospital for treatment. His condition is unknown at this time. No arrests have been made, and police have not said if they've identified a suspect. If you have any information, call Rockford Police or Crime Stoppers.
Oh, the Illinois state budget passes through the House in the middle of the night. The proposed plan totals more than $53 billion in spending. $350 million more are heading to K-12 education. Full pension payments as well. They pointed to the prior credit upgrades the state has gotten. The budget includes some major Pritzker priorities as well, including $10 million to start a new state agency dedicated to all aspects of early childhood and $500 million for a quantum campus.
We're not going to choose between a responsible budget and a compassionate budget because, ladies and gentlemen, the FY 2025 budget shows that we can do both.
But we can't just keep going to the taxpayers to solve your spending addictions.
The state's attempting to offset a year of tighter revenues by creating around $900 million more in tax hikes, mainly for businesses. It'll be lowering the retailers' discount on taxes that they get for collecting sales tax on behalf of the state.
Governor Pritzker praised lawmakers for sending him a budget he says he can sign.
To briefly recap, we lowered costs for working families. We invested in our children. We secured transformational economic development and job creation opportunities, all while strengthening our state's fiscal health.
State House Minority Leader Tony McCombie did not share the governor's outlook on the proposal. In a statement, the Republican said, quote, "This budget is a negligent political document that comes at a massive price to Illinois families. The partisan approach by Democratic leaders has pushed the state onto a failed path of taxes and overspending, while ignoring necessary structural and ethical reforms."
Well, a House bill in Springfield that would ban a product known as Delta 8 did not get a vote during the overnight session before it was adjourned. Proponents say the THC-infused products derived from hemp are falling into the hands of minors. Those in the industry itself say the current bill would shut their businesses down and do nothing to protect children. Opponents of the measure claim the cannabis industry does not want the regulations because then the THC-infused products become competition.
These businesses use bright packaging, appealing flavors, misleading advertising to attract young customers.
The bill on the table puts me out of business, but still allows out-of-state companies to legally ship products into the state of Illinois to sell these products to children.
Although the bill cleared the Illinois Senate, it was referred by the House to the Rules Committee.
A local native makes his way back to the state line where he's now a major help in the construction of Rockford's Hard Rock Casino.
Mark Johnson, has been working with the Hard Rock brand for nearly 20 years and found his way back home. Our Rianne Wiles spoke with him about his responsibilities at the casino. Rianne?
That's right, Mimi, David. I had the opportunity to meet Mark Johnson, who will oversee the slots and tables at the casino's director for gaming operations. Johnson graduated from East High School before heading out west to serve in the military. He then moved to Florida and worked for Hard Rock before coming back home to help with the casino here. His coworkers call him a hometown hero for finding his way back to Rockford, and Johnson said he is proud to be back.
The casino looks amazing. It's crazy to see, like, day by day you go there and it's unrecognizable from the start of just being a concrete slab to, now the carpet's in, this first slot machine's going next week. It'll be probably one of the greatest things, at least that I've been alive for, to see in Rockford.
President Gino Eifrate says they are still on target for opening Labor Day weekend, but to do that, they need to hire for about 800 positions. There is a major hiring event next month. We have the details on our website, mystateline.com. Mimi?
All right, thanks, Rayanne. A local nonprofit promotes health and wellness among older adults. Rockford's YMCA celebrated National Senior Health and Wellness Day with a free event. Visitors could participate in yoga and Zumba classes. The Y also highlighted health services and resources available in the community. Organizers say one step to becoming more active is creating connections with others.
One of my favorite things about being part of the Y is the connections and the relationships built here. I think when you think about even just health and wellness, you're 95% more likely to stay on track with a health and wellness journey when you're surrounded in community.
The YMCA operates 3 locations in the Rockford area.
Men's Mental Health Awareness Month starts Friday, and people are being reminded that it should be a priority no matter who you are. Doctors say it's important to draw attention to mental health challenges men face because of the stigma around it. The CDC says in 2020, women were diagnosed with depression twice as much as men, but men died by suicide at a 4 times higher rate. The National Alliance on Mental Illness says it's important to be open and empathetic to help men who may be struggling.
It's not your fault that your genetics are prone to that. It's just something that happens, right? So the number one thing is to be open to others, right? To be open so that if people say, hey, he's open, I may be able to speak to him. That's what we hope to do at NAMI, to create that kind of environment where people can feel safe.
NAMI operates a Northern Illinois branch providing services to Winnebago and Boone counties. Jury deliberations end for the day in the trial against Donald Trump.
Up next, the charges the former president faces.
And coming up at 6, employees at a local gaming shop get a big surprise. How the store's owner thanked them for their hard work.
Our temperatures warmed into the low 70s for many of us today underneath quite a bit of sunshine. More of the same as we head into the middle and end of the week, but rain chances on the horizon. I'll let you know when you can expect to see those again coming up in your most trusted forecast in just a few minutes.
Well, today, a jury in New York deliberated in a criminal case against a former U.S. president.
Donald Trump is facing 34 charges of falsifying business records. Rena Roy is at the courthouse in Manhattan with more.
The fate of former President Donald Trump is now in the hands of 12 New Yorkers. The jury deliberating behind closed doors after 5 weeks of testimony from more than 20 witnesses and a marathon day of closing arguments. They're weighing whether to convict Trump on 34 felony counts of falsifying business records in the hush money payment to adult film actress Stormy Daniels before the 2016 election. The jury is made up of 7 men and 5 women, 2 of them native New Yorkers and 2 immigrants. More than half have advanced degrees, a highly educated jury consisting of a speech therapist, teacher, lawyers, and bankers. Jurors sending a note this afternoon asking to hear back 4 portions of testimony. Before they began deliberations, jurors attentive and scribbling notes as the judge spent just over an hour giving them instructions. The judge saying, "It is not my responsibility to judge the evidence here, it is yours. You are the judges of the facts and you are responsible for deciding whether the defendant is guilty or not guilty." Prosecutors urging the jury to hold Trump accountable, arguing he ordered his former attorney Michael Cohen to pay Daniels for her silence about her alleged sexual encounter with him to hide that from voters. They say when Trump reimbursed Cohen, he purposely disguised it as a legal expense. The judge telling jurors they can't convict Trump on Cohen's testimony alone unless his testimony is corroborated by evidence, being that he's an accomplice to the alleged crime.
I think the biggest point that the jury's going to have to discuss is the question of corroboration. you have Michael Cohen laying out being the tour guide, so to speak, as the prosecution paints him now in closing arguments. And I think you have to ask the question is what he said corroborated by other witnesses?
Trump's defense attorney is saying he did nothing wrong. Trump pleaded not guilty and has denied any sexual encounter with Daniels.
Mother Teresa could not beat those charges, but we'll see. We'll see how we do. It's a very disgraceful situation.
And deliberations have wrapped up for the day, but jurors are expected to be back Thursday morning to resume. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
Oh, it's been a sunny day across the state line.
Yeah, it really makes all the difference out there. After the break, Jordan tells us when rain could move back in the area.
Now, your first warned weather forecast from meteorologist Jordan Wolf.
Our well above average stretch into the middle of May has been followed up with not quite as warm a stretch as of lately, not quite as many days into the 80s. And not a day in the 90s either, like what we had last Tuesday. Things have really been closer to the 70s lately, and once again, a similar day today for many of us. This time around, underneath plenty of sunshine, as opposed to the rain and the clouds that we've had from the last few days. Lots of blue sky showing up with our SkyTrack camera up in Poplar Grove amid some of the patchy clouds. Despite that, we have still warmed very nicely through the afternoon, reaching the low 70s for many of us. Briefly, we did hit 73 degrees in Rockford, but we are currently sitting at 70. 69 right now in Rochelle as well as in DeKalb, 65 in Poplar Grove, and 66 over in Harvard, 68 degrees the current temperature when we look at Monroe, Wisconsin. We did warm very nicely underneath a lot of that sunshine, but not as much as we could have been if we had not seen a northerly wind. And though that wasn't quite that strong, that wind did help to at least keep things feeling a bit on the cooler side than if we either had little wind or a southerly wind that we could have warmed even more, as areas off to the west and the plains have experienced today. High pressure, though generally working in, has kept our winds fairly light. It is also keeping our skies very, very clear, not only locally but across a very broad region as well. The entire central third of the United States almost experiencing those clear skies underneath high pressure. Locally, things have remained fairly clear other than a few of those passing clouds as shown with the SkyTrack camera earlier, but things continue to remain dry here through the afternoon, a more important feature than what we had the last few days. The rain chances do stay away for the last couple of days, and what we have in the next couple, is what I should say, but as we head into the middle end of the week, that's where we start to see a lot of this moisture begins to work its way a bit closer to the region. That will eventually work its way closer to us, but in the meantime, we still remain clear with our skies during the day and for most of those nights as well, leading to some cooler overnight lows before our next chances for rain work their way in late Friday going into Saturday morning. That's with this low pressure system coming in from the south and the southwest, likely going to bring us some potential for some heavy rain overnight Friday night into Saturday morning, and it may keep some of those rain showers around for the afternoon, although the thunder threat is a little bit on the lower side considering the track of that low pressure system right now does look to be a bit off to the south. Clear skies for our overnights will keep our temperatures from falling very far. We're going to actually reach down into the 40s for those overnight lows for at least the next couple of nights. Kind of similar to what we saw last night in some spots that remained clear a bit longer. But as we head during the afternoons, things warm up fairly nicely. This time around, we do have a more easterly component to our wind, but we could see some temperatures warm even a couple degrees more than where they were today as we get into tomorrow afternoon. As we head into Friday, things warm then even more than that with a southerly direction to our wind, helping to bring us close to the upper 70s for many of us as well. I mentioned earlier about the moisture that's going to be remaining across the plains. This in particular shows precipitable water, which is how much moisture there is in a column of air. And there's a lot of it going across the plains. That's going to remain in the plains for the next couple of days before eventually working its way closer to the region. That's what's going to be the kind of trigger that brings us our next chances for rain, specifically as we get Friday night into Saturday and then heading into the weekend as well. We do have an isolated chance for some thunderstorms as we head into Sunday, but higher chances again return Monday and Tuesday with a lot more instability building up with a lot more warm energy and warm air as well. 74 for tomorrow, lots of sunshine, even more so than what we saw today, but 78 on Friday. 80s as we head toward the back half of the weekend, and then mid-80s as we head into early next week.
Always love the sound of sunshine. Jordan, thanks.
Scott's in next with sports. Can the Cubs carry over the momentum from their win in Milwaukee last night to tonight?
And we'll find out which NFL team is ready to give former Bear Tariq Cohen a shot at a comeback.
Now sports with Sports Director Scott Lever.
The Cubs bats perked up a bit last night in Milwaukee. We'll see if they can keep it going tonight as they face the Brewers again. Michael Busch homered for the first time in almost a month last night. And the Cubs put 5 more runs on the board in the 10th inning. Ian Happ had a big 2-run double that inning. So the Cubs now trail the Brewers by 3.5 games. And tonight, Shota Imanaga and Bryce Wilson will be the starting pitchers. The series will wrap up tomorrow with a 12-10 start. The White Sox will host the Blue Jays once again this evening. Sox will be trying to end a 7-game losing streak. They will have Chris Flexen going. His ERA is 5.69. This will be the last game of the series. The Sox will be off tomorrow and then head to Milwaukee Friday night. Hey, the Rivets have their first win of this Northwoods League season. They defeated Kalamazoo this afternoon 5-2. Jack Zebig led off the game with a home run, and starting pitcher Landon Southern did not give up an earned run in 5 innings. The Rivets' home opener will be Friday evening. Remember Tariq Cohen from his time with the Bears? Well, he's making another comeback attempt, this time with the Jets. He's signed a 1-year contract. Cohen hasn't played since the 2020 season. He's dealt with a range of serious injuries, including a torn ACL, a leg fracture, and a torn Achilles. When the Bears in 2018, Cohen was a Pro Bowl kick returner. And with the NFL's new kickoff rules putting an emphasis on the return game again, the Jets figure Cohen's worth the look. Bronny James is definitely done with College Bowl. He has decided to remain in the NBA draft. He's projected to be a second-round pick, primarily because his father is LeBron James. And Bronny's agent Chris Paul says it only takes one NBA team to draft a player. If Bronny James isn't drafted, though, some NBA team will sign him as a free agent. And consider that Scottie Scheffler arrest incident at the PGA Championship a closed case. Authorities say no crimes were committed by the PGA golfer and that the evidence supports Scheffler's contention that his mishap with a police detective was a big misunderstanding. The detective had claimed that Scheffler ignored his command to stop during a traffic accident outside the golf course. The detective claimed Scheffler instead accelerated his vehicle and dragged the detective to the ground. At Sports, we'll be right back.
The First Warn Interactive Radar from Rockford, Glass & More showing clear skies that we have for the rest of the night tonight. Temperatures falling back down into the low and mid 40s for many of us underneath those clear skies. A bit more sunshine as we head into tomorrow, even more so than what we saw today. Many spots getting into the mid 70s. Upper 70s possible as we head into Friday. Chances for rain late Friday night into Saturday. Chances even a couple isolated thunderstorms there on Saturday and Sunday, but mid 80s early next week.
Thanks, Jordan.
World News Tonight's up next. I'll be back here at 6.